Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Chiara Minestrelli and I'm the course leader for the BA Contemporary Media Cultures. And today I want to give you an insight and an overview about what the course entails and what we do on the degree. And it's a very unique degree and we'll find out why. So as I said, I'm the course leader, I'm also a senior lecturer, and I work around different areas of media and communications, but I can tell a bit more later. So let's take a look at what it means to study at a university environment, higher education. So what we normally ask our students is to be independent, to start learning in ways that are new, probably from what they've experienced so far, and in particular in secondary school. And of course, there is a lot of new ways of approaching studying through independent learning, collaboration, and also by engaging in workshops and activities outside of the classroom. So let's take a look at the academic year for this course. So we call these not semesters but blocks, and we've got two main blocks. Block one normally starts at the end of September, around the last week of September, and it goes till the first week of February, generally speaking. So it's 15 weeks. Then we've got a reading week for students and staff to work on other things. And then from mid-February till normally the first week of June, we've got another block, 15 weeks. So what happens then around Easter time is that we've got roughly 3 weeks off for students, not for staff, because staff is still available and we're working on other aspects of the degree. So if you are working or having projects, it's very likely that you'll be able to reach out to us. Bear in mind that some staff, members of staff might be able to actually get some leave around that time, but generally speaking would be around. At the undergraduate level, obviously full time, we've got 90 weeks in full time mode, and we've got 3 stages over 3 academic years. So each stage goes for 13 weeks. And it's important to know that, some students who come to LCC also want to work alongside study, and we do allow them to do so, but it's always important for students to let us know what their priorities and needs are, and we can definitely accommodate them. So contact hours is another important aspect to touch on. So contact hours are the hours that we spend together in the classroom, and every unit has got different contact hours, and over the last year we've gone through reapproval, which is the revalidation of the course. And so some of the contact hours have changed slightly, but in order to know what the contact hours are, you can access the material on Moodle and also talk to your tutors. So also some students ask us how much of the course will be based on independent study. Again, quite a big proportion of the university life is about independent study. So the contact time, the time that we've got with your tutors in class, is really important, is fundamental, but then also there's a lot of work for you that happens outside of the classroom. And some students are surprised at first because they believe, oh gosh, we need to have classes, and they think that there is more contact time and perhaps the whole day, every day. It's not the case. In higher education, normally contact time is quality time that you spend with your supervisors, with your lecturers, with your tutors. And what happens during that, those hours and that time is that you are supported, guided, and to be given all the instructions in order for you to be able to proceed and carry out your tasks and study. So during your independent research time, you can access the library, any facilities, and continue work on your assignments. This is really important. Also, make the most of your time at LCC and UL through different workshops. So sign up for all the sessions and workshops that are available. Also, do come to our guest speaker series and try to attend as many extracurricular activities as you can, obviously depending on your availability and schedules. So let's take a look at also other aspects of the degree. So we know that each unit has got different credits, and we'll also explore more in depth later on different units on the degree. you've got overall 120 credits per year, which makes up 360 in total. And each unit descriptor really indicates the number of the learning hours, as I said earlier, which are associated with that unit. So also bear in mind that the proportion of hours that we devote to different types of learning will vary and it really depend on the purpose and nature of the unit. So every unit is different. Every unit's got different features. For some units, you've got a combination of theory and practice. With the other units, you've got more practical elements. With some others, you've got a bit more theoretical approaches to the unit. So as we said, also independent learning is key. We touched on this already, and it's about being independent. It's about learning how to do things at university level. It's about being proactive. Don't wait for your lecturers to come to you, but try to actually ask, always engage with the topics, always engage with the lectures. It's really important to do that. And being independent doesn't mean that you have to be detached from what happens. It means to actually carry out work outside of the classroom, work that is connected to what you do with your lecturers, and also being in touch. So remember that you've got many opportunities to learn more outside of the classroom through different services, and we'll explore some of these very soon. So, having given a brief overview of what it means to be a higher education student, university student, of course, there's way more to explore, but let's keep to this for now. Let's take a look at why London College of Communication. So, let's say that the communication sector is growing, it is evolving, but this is not all. So the real picture is that communication is now probably one of the most important sectors in our life, with media in particular being ubiquitous and being present in our lives constantly. So what we're doing, we're actually enable our students to develop those important skills that they need in order to be successful in our societies, in particular in the close future, but also in the present. The creative industries are veering towards a digital media centered approach. Also, we see that communication is now becoming really important in different areas of life, different sectors, different industries are engaging more with aspects around media and communication. So what you're learning at London College of Communication, it's pivotal, not only in terms of your personal interests, but also because this is the way society is moving towards, and it's pretty much providing a broad and general overview of the future. So if you are reading the news and if you're a person who's interested in what's happening around the world, you see that technologies, media technologies, as well as communication aspects are now always on the news, are now critical, and they are being discussed constantly. So you've got now a chance to provide, your views about this, but also we've got a chance to provide a background about what's happening. So it's important also to know that we've got a reputation, good reputation for communication and media. There are a range of disciplines that we cover, and especially with the new degrees or approved degrees, you see how many interesting opportunities for collaboration, but also to learn something which is timely and important. It's an industry-focused degree. You'll be able to also work within a broader program. And the location, of course, is great because you are in the heart of London, in a place rich of history and with a lot of diversity and ways to meet new people, know more about what's going on, not only within London, but also around the world because of the diversity of this college. But also you've got to remember that this college is part of 6 other colleges within the University of the Arts London. So it's a really interesting college. And London College of Communication hosts a really diverse body of students. We've got around 18,000 students from 130 countries, which is quite astonishing. So the diversity and the opportunities to meet different people, to talk to them, to actually engage in different cultural practices and learn more about what happens in other parts of the world. This is one of our strengths as well. So you'll get a chance to also understand and see what the diversity of our college as a London College of Communication, but also as part of the University of the Arts London is. And we also support a range of different services and opportunities for students to engage with the activities within UAL. So, for example, our Year 1 students this year are really interested in taking up opportunities and workshops and sessions in other colleges. And they can definitely do it. There is a way. There is also a portal called the Orb that you can access, and where you can see all the events happening within UAL. So while we are a specific college with a specific identity, in a very different atmosphere, you've got to remember that you can also benefit from being part of a broader university with different other colleges, which are fascinating, engaging, and extremely interesting and original. So when you also are going through your graduation degrees and your graduation ceremony, you see that you've got a chance to mingle and meet other people. So it'd be a great opportunity. But within then UL, and in particular in the College of Communication, we need to situate our degree even more specifically, because we are part of the media school. And the media school is a really rich school. It spans different disciplines from publishing, advertising, public relations, media communications, photography, journalism. So as you can see, there are opportunities to learn also from these other programs, and all of these are different programs. Again, we are within the media school, we are situated within the media and communications program. But as you can see, there are many interesting programs, and we always find ways to communicate. For example, I will be giving a guest lecture for the MA Journalism very soon, and the staff from the BA Journalism will be also talking to us and our students, because we do like to keep it collaborative, right? So then let's take a look at the media school. So as I said, we're part of the communications and media, and within our program, we've got BA Advertising, we've got our degree, BA Contemporary Media Cultures, we've got Media Communications, Public Relations, and then we've got a series of really interesting MA degrees. So postgraduate opportunities are really good, and if you wish to continue your studies within LCC, you can do so. There is the MA Advertising, MA Media Communications and Critical Practice, and MA Public Relations. So the natural, let's say, prosecution and the natural journey for students from our degree will be to get into media communications critical practice, but you can also explore other MA degrees. We've got so many different students who actually want to take on opportunities within different then areas and fields. The beauty of, as I will also explain later on, of BA CMC, as we call it, Contemporary Media Cultures, is that it's so rich and in some ways quite broad and touches on so many different areas of media communications that our students can really explore a range of opportunities for further studying after the BA. So bear in mind that one of the strengths of the BA is indeed the opportunity to be able to explore many different options. We've got students who decided to get into marketing, students who decided to get into fashion, students who just stay into media and communications, students who are more driven by passion for sociology and cultural studies and more of the anthropological perspective on society. So we've got a variety of students with a variety of interests, as you can see, or as you can hear. So then, as I said, we also have journalism and publishing and photography, but we are situated within the media, communications and media school. So let's take a look at our specific degree, finally. I know there was a bit of talk around, a little introduction around where we are situated within LCC and UL more in general. But BA-CMC also, I've done this because BA-CMC draws from all these different influences coming from the environment in which it's situated and located. So CMC is a really interesting and novel degree, I've got to say, especially after the process of revalidation, what we call reapproval. Many changes have been introduced, and I really think that the degree is now very strong and may attract really interesting students. So BACMC engages with contemporary ideas and creative projects in a really critical way, because they want to form a new generations of students who are not just workers or creatives, but change makers. So we're interested in questions around society, around environment, around social transformations, but positive social transformations, and in particular justice, social justice. So the course is also interested in questions around diversity, inclusivity, ethics, sustainability, both in media and communications, but also in terms of culture and society. So if you get a degree from this course, you will be able to develop really critical understandings of what happens around the world, really important perspectives around the key debates that dominate our public sphere and also our key institutions. You want to be able to be and become critical thinkers. You want to be able to become really, key change makers, cultural advocates, and also compelling communicators. So the ethos of the course is an ethos supported and sustained by a passion for justice and diversity, but also a passion for media and communications and creative industries that is driven towards change, positive change. So if you are a person who wants to make a difference in the world, I would say apply for this degree, because it's not just about communications and media and culture. Is a bit more than that. It's about making meaningful change in society. But let's take a look at the structure of the degree. So this is a plan. This is a diagram that shows the weeks. It shows also the block system. And the S that you can see here at the end means submission point. It's just to give you an understanding of how long some of these units are and how they are structured, right? So with the new approved degree, we see that we've got an introductory element, which is an introduction to the degree. Normally in this unit, I will say a bit more about it very soon, but it's introductory unit that is specific to the degree, but also every other course has got an introduction to unit. So BA advertising, PR, and media communications, right? And we've got some of the units that are in some ways program units, which means that you'll be collaborating with students from BA advertising, PR and MC, media comms, and other units which are specific to our degree. So the beauty of it is that you can also have a small group. Normally BACMC, we try to cap our degrees and keep it to keep it quite familiar. We love to have smaller numbers, around 30 students, because I believe that we can work with every single student in more creative and personalized ways. But also students will have the opportunity to work with huge cohorts, for example, on the unit Creative Foundations. And students will be working in huge cohorts with students from around the world, from within the program. So they will be collaborating with students from these other degrees. And but they will also have smaller groups for seminars, where they will be able to, yes, collaborate with other students, but in smaller groups. So a lot of opportunities, really exciting ones. Now, as you can see, these are the weeks and how submission points are distributed. For example, in Creative Foundations, you see you've got a submission point in week 8, submission point in week 15, whereas for Intro 2 is a short but intensive unit, which only lasts for 5 weeks, and you've got the submission point, which is normally a presentation in week 5. Other units, such as representation, diversity, and equality, you've got a submission point in week 14, and so on and so forth. So you can see, just to give you an idea, but we will get into more detail very soon, just to give you an insight into the structure of the degree. But there's a lot to say, so I'm just going to move forward and let's take a look at year 1 units. Okay, And with year 1 units, I want to start from block 1, obviously, which is Introduction to Contemporary Media Cultures. So you get used to acronyms such as CMC. So don't worry, CMC again is just an acronym for Contemporary Media Cultures, but we like to keep things short. Obviously, we've got a big, long title, so CMC will be better and quicker. So Introduction to CMC, we've got Creative Foundations, which starts from week 2. And this is a program unit. As I said, some of our units are specific to CMC, whereas some others where you see program unit, they will be shared, so to speak, or with other degrees. And there would be, in particular, opportunities for you to collaborate, right? So you'll be able to sit in a bigger class. There'll be a lecture where you'll be together with all the other students from advertising, PR and media communications. And during those classes, then you'll be able to share common experiences together. But as I said earlier, you'll also get a chance to work in smaller seminar groups. And then you've got Representation, Diversity and Equality, which starts from week 6. Okay, so you've got different starting points, especially in year 1, because of Introduction to CMC. And with this unit, it's really fascinating unit. It's really good because you, as I said, we've got a passion for diversity, questions around social justice. So this unit combines not only the creative element, but also the theoretical aspect with the creative aspect. And you're going to do so through the element of photography. And this is quite unique to CMC because other degrees don't really develop that aspect in depth, whereas Contemporary Media Cultures is the only degree which actually looks in depth into photography for this unit. And it does so by analyzing questions of representation, of difference and identity as well. You'll be also developing the creative part of your degree in the Creative Foundations unit. So Creative Foundations is more developing notions around web design, and you'll be able to also get certificates. You'll be able to learn about other creative aspects around sound, and also be able to learn more about the visual, about film. So you'll develop different skills, and these skills will be integrated by the practice around photography for representation. So you get a chance to do the theory, to work around important notions in media and contemporary studies and key cultural studies. You'd also get a chance to put those in practice through your creativity. So it's really important to understand how things will develop. And from the early stages of these units, you will be working on creative thinking, creative skills. So this is quite relevant to what you will be doing. Then we see block 2. We've got block 2, as I said, starts from February onwards. You'll have media communications and culture, which is a program unit. Again, you'll be sharing this with other students. Platforms and social media, another program unit, and media community and change, which is specific to contemporary media cultures, right? So let's take a look a bit more in depth at media communications and culture. So it's 20 credits, and like all of these other units are 20 credits so far. And this unit will introduce you to the broad field of communication studies by mapping and applying key theories and approaches. So it's a bit more of a theoretical unit, but don't worry, you get a chance to use that knowledge and apply it to specific examples. So here you'll explore ways of thinking about the formation, transformation, and influence of the communications industries. And also you'll be able to contextualize contemporary debates about specific practices. And so this is quite relevant to what you're doing. And you've got something specific and interesting, which is called platforms and social media. So platforms and social media, another 20 credit unit, provides an important foundational unit for understanding platforms, as the title says, and social media from a range of sociocultural perspectives. So this unit applies project-based learning, not only to examine their complexity, but also to consider how these can be used for promotional and creative communication. So really important, and bear in mind that on the 7th floor of our beautiful tower building, we've got a space where you can actually undertake social media analysis. We've got the tools, the equipment, and the software to do so if you really want to get into it in the study of social media. So really interesting things. And social media, as we know, is now part of our lives. It's an extension of our selves, digital selves, right? So it's really important. Now, Media Community and Change is a really exciting unit which I've worked on and which I believe has got a lot of potential, a lot of also potential for collaboration with industry partners, with NGOs and the third sector. So this unit explores communicative and media strategies for engagement with a variety of different communities. And by exploring key theories in communication, media theory, cultural studies, alongside sociological approaches to the notion of community, for instance, you'll be able to consider broader questions around the ethical implications of working and collaborating in highly complex environments, working with communities, the language of development, the language that we need to use to work with specific marginalized groups, for instance. And this unit will also give you the opportunity to collaborate with specific industry partners, which is really great, and have also guest lectures and learn a bit more about something which could be really relevant and a direct connection with the industry. So now that we've explored the units in year one, year two, we're just jumping into year two, and we can see that year two is a bit more industry oriented. So year one builds on the kind of theories and knowledges of, and I'm using the plural, knowledges, not knowledge. I'm doing this on purpose, even though it's a bit of a grammatical mistake, but using knowledges on purpose because it's a multiplicity of aspects around different types of knowledge you will develop. We'll be looking at different theories, different practices, and we will build on those in year two. So once we have established the foundations, the tenets of your knowledge, then we'll be able to move into a more sophisticated understanding of the media and cultural studies and communication industries. So in block one, you've got something called Interventions, Contemporary Media Activism, which is a fascinating unit. And this unit really looks at different ways in which media can enact activism, social change. You'll be able to explore alternative media, different forms of digital media, and how social media can also, not only social media, but also the new technologies, immersive media, can be really productive tools to enact change. And you can also reflect on your own practices and the question of activism in the contemporary world. So really interesting, really important. But if you're an international student who comes from a place or a country where these kind of discussions are not welcomed, let's say, don't worry, we're very sensitive to those aspects, and we know how to cater to your needs. So while we do talk about questions around activism and media activism, we are also aware that there will be situations where certain topics can be contentious. So there are specific lines and parameters around which we work. So don't worry about it. Then we've got professional industry practice, and this is another 20 credit unit, which is really important because it will be some sort of a stepping stone towards your placement, and also an opportunity which I will outline very soon, something called a Diploma of Professional Studies, but I will come to this in a second. So professional industry practice will be supporting you to prepare, and supporting you in many ways, I have to say, to prepare for a career within the media and creative communication industries. And this unit will introduce different modes of working in the professional landscape. So you'd be particularly encouraged to reflect on your own interests and creative skills in relation to employability, and also to explore industry-based experiences such as placements, internships, life briefs, and freelance working. So really interesting unit, and one of our most successful units so far. Apologies. Then in block one, you have also another unit, 20 credit unit, called Global Media Businesses, Practices and Cultures. In this unit, you will examine the changing ways in which global communications are organized. You will look at the connections between businesses and cultural aspects of the media and creative communications industries. And you also look at the relationship of these industries to other processes of economic, political, social, and cultural change. You'll also be able to consider different work practices in the creative and cultural industries and identify the competencies and behaviors that are required to work successfully within those industries. So really another important aspect or unit to consider questions around work ethic, but from a global perspective. So then we've got in block 2 some interesting, and I've got to say that some of these interventions, for instance, is a specific unit specific to contemporary media cultures, whereas professional industry practice in global media businesses are in some ways program. Global media businesses is program unit. Professional industry practice will be probably shared with media communications. So there will be different arrangements in relation to this unit. In block 2, we've got a series of program units and some optional units, which are very exciting. So media and environment is a unit that we will share in some ways or collaborate, let's say, we prefer the word collaborate, with the BA Media Communications. This 20 credit unit investigates impact of media and cultural and societal structures on the environment itself. So by studying media ecology, geology, and sustainability, you'll be able to make connections between media and the environment in creative ways, and also make sense of those connections, also connections between media and the environment through questions around justice. And we'll do so by looking at a series of global studies, case studies, right? But so this unit is not just about the environment per se or the environment around us, but it's also about media environments. So really important aspect and differentiation. Then we've got communication research methods. So communication research methods is really interesting because, of course, you'll develop a different methods in communications and media, and this is a stepping stone for your research question to develop your unique research questions and dissertation projects. So by doing this unit, you'll be able to learn a variety of methods and approaches in order to be able to study the media and research, also the media and creative industries, media and culture, media and society. And once you've learned all those different approaches, you'll be able to actually use them as your unique entry points for your dissertation. So a preparatory, so to speak, a preparatory unit for something more and something that you'll be doing in year 3. Then you've got the option units, level 5 option units, which are focusing around content creation for now. So content creation, as you can see here, refers to digital and web, film and video, podcasting and audio, building brands, data and social media analysis, and influencer marketing communication. So you can choose one of these, okay? And of course, you can choose one from this list because normally you're interested in a particular area and you want to develop your skills in greater depth. So for some of these, we've got, well, for all of these, we actually have amazing studios and places where you can, and equipment that you can use to really become more professional and an expert in that area. So very exciting opportunities for students. Now, as I said, just mentioned earlier, between year 2 and year 3 now, we've got something really interesting and something that I think every student should do, an option to take a year out for diplomas. So there are 2 qualifications. One is a Diploma in Professional Studies, also called DPS, which is an optional year-long learning opportunity, which allows students to go out in the real world and develop professional skills by undertaking some time out in a particular industry. So you'll be supported by academics, and you build on the knowledge also gained through some of the units, such as professional industry practice, for example, which will help you get into a placement and also prepare for this diploma of professional studies. Once you come back, you'll have this diploma, you have the preparation and the work done in the real world in a specific industry, then you'll be able to build and be reintroduced into year 3. I think it's a really important way to actually develop, not only in a professional way, but also personal way. So the other option is diploma in creative computing, again, an optional pathway. This will develop your skills in creative computing alongside your degree. So, and after completing the diploma and your undergraduate degree, you'll graduate with an enhanced degree, which will be BA Contemporary Media Cultures plus creative computing. So really appealing, especially for certain sectors, right? Really interesting opportunity. So do take this opportunity, think about it. And this will be really great for students to actually jump into this exciting way of learning about the job and job market and work environment. So as I said, in year 2, professional industry practice will help you gain the experience in order to be able to do the diplomas. Year 3, Creative Futures, which we'll see in a second, will support you to develop your online professional profile, networking with industry professionals and developing strategies for working in the creative industries. So you've got specific units which will help you actually gain those skills in order to be able to be successful in the workplace. So then we've got year 3. Year 3 has got some interesting units. Again, a combination of units that will help you experiment, work, research your own topics and become mini researchers, so to speak. And you can do this through the dissertation, which is a 40 credit unit, and an optional unit, which will allow you to actually integrate and complement your interests and knowledge and passions with something that can be quite specific. So as you can see, the options are comedy and satire, media communications, community management, critical sound cultures, digital futures, digital humanitarianism, ethical remediation of immersive media productions, food cultures, love in the digital age, global and indigenous media, rhetoric, media and social change, social movements and celebrity activism. And then we've got special topics on rotation each year. So really exciting opportunity for you not only to explore something that you might be really interested in, something quite niche, and this also will depend on the availability of the tutors and professors, but also you get a chance to work on your own topic, something you have an interest in, thanks to the dissertation. So there will be a project where you will explore a set of ideas and theories and notions and combine them with your own views. And this is a really interesting opportunity for you to also use a dissertation as a way to liaise perhaps or even look a bit further into the future. Then in block 2, you've got the major project and creative futures. The major project is 40 credits and creative futures is 20 credit unit. So this again is a continuation of what you've done so far. Creative futures is connected also to professional industry practice, but it's a way to look at the future in more systematic and organized ways and also more direct ways. The major project is another opportunity for you to explore creativity, and it's very likely there will be something like an exhibition. At the end of it, you'll be able to actually create using the knowledge gained through your dissertation and also through the units that you've done in year 1 and 2. You'll be able to come up with something that combines creativity with theories in unique ways. So these are really important ways of actually getting ready for a job market, which is really demanding right now, but I'm sure you'll be will be available and also be able to look into those options in ways that are unique and personal. So now, talking about the future after year 3, a lot of our students ask us, so what can I do? How am I getting work experiences and opportunities? And as we said, on the degree, you already have quite a few points for you to actually explore this. There's also employability as a service within LCC. and I think it's really important to liaise with them. Also remember that we've got other opportunities as well as sending out emails and calls for internships, paid internships, and opportunities for work, for paid work. There's also opportunities such as arts temps, which is paid work, and students should actually consider that. With employability embedded throughout the course, also you'll gain industry experience, and you'll do so also not only by doing, if you choose to do so, the diplomas, but also connected with industry speakers, guests and alumni. You'll also be able to build skills in audiovisual and digital content creation alongside, which is quite unique, I've got to say, not many degrees do that, alongside also effective communication skills and communication for change, as I said at the start. So some of our graduates from people who graduated from the LCC, even though the course was slightly different in the past, but similar in many ways, have decided to actually go on to different experiences and pathways. Some people work for Robert Shendwick, some people for magazines, some other people's work for film industry. We've got startups, we've got NGOs, we've got people who really work in a variety of places. And as I said earlier, our students have got the luxury in some ways to experiment and to really get into any area, any field, because we do provide, as you've seen now so far through the overview of the different units, a range of opportunities and also units that will keep you engaged, but also give you an insight into different industries, media and communications industries. Also, you will be able to learn more through workshops and extracurricular activities, and as I said, so it's really important to think about that and think about the ways in which you want to develop as a professional. So normally when people ask us who studies BACMC, we say that, you know, the course normally attracts a series of students from a different range of backgrounds, literally with different passions for media, critical approaches to culture, who've got a passion and an interest in social justice and sustainability, and people want to be change makers and who are interested in society, who are interested in the environment, who want to understand the complexities of the current world of our society. So we tend to attract those really critical students, students who have an interest for diversity and communication, but want to get into to learn about the mechanisms and the strategies for not only effective communication, but also for positive communication, for democratic communication. We want to prepare students to become just, and also to learn about the values that need to be present in today's society, also for, you know, a more collaborative future. So we, you know, get a lot of questions about, you know, where our students come from, and also what kind of qualifications they need to have. Don't worry, no qualifications needed. Also, no portfolios. So students are welcome from all sorts of, you know, backgrounds. As far as you've got an interest in the topics and areas that I've just pointed to, please do join us, express your interest for the degree, ask questions, do let us know if there's anything that you want to know. So it's really important to understand that no prior media or communications experience is required, right? So we start from very basic background, and then we develop your skills together with, you know, the skills of other students on other degrees. So our students also, as I said, choose different career pathways and different fields. So also, you know, because the course offers some opportunities to engage in critical professional practices and also creative ones, we tend to get students that are really interested in getting into a variety of areas. And you can see here we've got some of our students who enjoy watching their own work for one of the units will be, in your case, a major project where they normally have an exhibition of their work. So as I said, other opportunities are a diploma, one of the diplomas that I've talked about. Also, you'll be able to do some internships if you wish to do so. These are not compulsory or not part of the degree. So, but we do offer various opportunities and send out emails. So there's no actual placement apart from the diplomas, which are optional, but there will be opportunities for students to actually get some work done if they're interested in doing so. So just trying to gain a better understanding of this degree and why it is unique, because some people might wonder, so what's the difference between, and normally the question that we tend to get a lot is, what's the difference between BA-CMC and BA Media and Communications? Why? Because they seem to be quite similar. This is what we get from our students, but you've got to bear in mind that our degree is quite unique because, as I said, it actually combines a series of critical approaches to society in culture and environment and justice, and media and communication theories, but also we provide students with a set of skills and understanding of society which is particular, which is practical. We cover sound, we cover photography, we cover film, we cover many other web design, we cover different areas within our practice and practice-based skills. So there are very few degrees, especially these days, who tackle questions of social justice and environment and change making within the creative industries and media and communications. So it's quite unique. You will find perhaps some MA degrees, but not many BAs actually do so. And so, as I said, also it's quite broad course, and it attracts students who want to still explore options for the future, who may have a passion, but they want to actually gain a series of different skills, not just one specific set of skills, but more a variety of skills that will allow them to be successful in the future. So we'll give you the tools to really explore several other professional environments like the third sector, which is not something other degrees have been doing. So this is quite unique to CMC as well. Now, just closing and giving you a also overview of other facilities that we get within LCC, and that CMC students can also enjoy, is the 3D workshops in the Creative Technology Lab, the Cantina Tapo Cafe, which is always very busy, I've got to say, the college shop, the digital space. In the digital space, you can see an image here. It's a beautiful space where students can actually go and do their projects. And there's always staff there available. So if you have a question or if you need any support, you can actually go there and get supported. Got gallery spaces for students who are creative and putting up exhibitions. We've got the kit room, which is pivotal for students in order for you to actually get equipment. It could be cameras, it could be tripods, anything that you may need for your creative projects. Then we've got the library services, another really key space for you because you'll be spending a lot of time ideally at the library. You'll be researching, preparing for your assignments, you'll be studying, you'll be sharing knowledge and ideas with other students, and you'll be doing a lot of research, especially in year 3 when you are doing your dissertation. And photography studios, we've got printing and finishing, printmaking, and play. So different areas within LCC that you can definitely go to. And we're going to say that we've got on the 7th floor within our own space within the program, we've got the creative content lab. The creative content lab and digital spaces are amazing places where you can actually undertake some of your projects. We've got space for photography, for audio. We've got also a mini audio booth, and we've got a lot of other software facilities and spaces for you to be creative and explore some of the more hands-on assignments that you might get. So you have also college-wide access to these different facilities, remember that. So then staff expertise, so we've got a lot of interesting lecturers, and by lecturers I mean senior lecturers, professors who teach in the degree, and we cover all sorts of topics, so a variety of different areas within media, cultural studies, communications, and so on and so forth. So from cultural studies and critical theory, ethnographic methods, textual analysis, research methods in media and cultural studies. We've got people with interest and knowledge in journalism, sustainability, photography, media technologies and media platforms, social media, cinema, film theory, identity representation, popular cultures, music cultures, indigenous cultures, and alternative media. So we cover quite a lot of material. So don't worry, especially for your own projects and research, we can assist you, and we will provide the necessary support for you to carry out your own individual projects. Then something really important to highlight is collaboration. As you've seen so far, you've got multiple ways of and multiple opportunities to collaborate with students from within the communications and media program, but at the same time you can collaborate with people in different spaces and facilities within LCC. So there are many opportunities to work also with students from Hong Kong, because something that I haven't mentioned yet, but really unique to CMC, is that we've got a twin degree with Hong Kong. It's the same degree, it's called BA Contemporary Media Cultures, but it's run in Hong Kong. Students in Hong Kong do exactly the same units and same program that we do, and there are multiple spaces for collaborations in Intro 2, in other units. Sometimes start from London, teach in Hong Kong. Sometimes we've got students from Hong Kong who come here in year 3. Currently, we have 4 students in year 3 who moved from Hong Kong to our degree. So it's really interesting, a really great opportunity to actually be truly global and work with students from other countries. So this is really unique, and not many other universities have got this opportunity. Also, if you are interested in actually going away and experiencing life in a different university, we've got the study abroad and the exchange opportunities for our students. We've got collaborations with Ryerson University in Toronto. We've got the Danish School of Media and Journalism in Copenhagen. So we've got other opportunities that are coming up in other mobility infrastructures, and also opportunities for students to take on board. So do consider also this kind of work and this kind of exchange and way of enriching your own personal learning experience. Now, personal statement, if you want to show interest, just let us know that you might be considering contemporary media cultures, that you want to study in a particular area. As I said, this course doesn't require a portfolio, which is great. So just get in touch, let us know that you're interested. And, like I do with many other students, I'm more than happy to book a meeting with you to see you, to meet you in person or online. We can talk about the degree. So it's just about showing an interest, and let us know what you want to do and where you're coming from in terms of your own passions and interests. Now, do let me know if you've got any questions. For general inquiries, you've got a specific email, sccontact@arts.ac.uk. Also, if you've got questions about accommodation, student support, and scholarships and fees, please do contact these different services. You see the emails here, you'll be able to access them, both in terms of accommodation, student services, and funding. There are a lot of opportunities for students to actually explore these. Now, I know I've been talking for a bit too long, yeah, if you have, I know that students may have questions. So if you have any questions, do get in touch with us, and I know that I will be very happy to talk to you. So thanks for your time, and thanks for actually watching our presentation, for being with us. I know we don't have many students present live today, so this would be more of a asynchronous kind of discussion, but do get in touch and express your interest for BA Contemporary Media Cultures. I'd be very happy to have a chat with you. Thank you so much, everybody, and I hope I'll see you either on site during our open days of our holidays or online. Thanks.
Thank you for doing that. We do have a couple of questions, if that's okay, but we won't do too many just because of time. But there is a question about the difference between this degree and other communication and media programs that are offered.
Yeah, I think I kind of covered that earlier when I said I also specifically talked about the difference between the CMC and media communications. As I said earlier, this is quite a unique degree compared to advertising, PR, and media comms. Normally, obviously, it's quite different from PR, public relations, and advertising, as you can see. Also, we cover different areas, but with media communications, there's often a doubt what's the difference between these two degrees. As I said earlier, the difference is that BA Contemporary Media Cultures is more interested in questions around social justice through media and communications, questions around environment, questions around how digital media, how also artificial intelligence, how new technologies and immersive technologies can actually solve problem in terms of a changing society, becoming change makers. We provide opportunities to collaborate with the third sector, which is not something a lot of students can get from other degrees. We also offer opportunities to be a bit more critical about the workings of media and communications. And so we do provide a set of theories and ideas that actually get deeper into those questions and perhaps a bit deeper than other degrees. We do provide a good combination, good balance between theory and practice. And we also have, at this stage, things might change, but also the only degree currently covering also photography within year one units, like representation, diversity and equality. So we've got quite a few interesting entry points, especially this view and in a relevance that we give to the third sector, and questions around change making in society and questions of justice. So if you are a student who really believes in those values, I would say do join us. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I know that was expanding off another point, but it's good just to reiterate this. Another question is, do I need any prior knowledge before entering the course?
No, also, yeah, talked about this. No knowledge required. We are more than happy to get any students. No portfolio, not prior knowledge in media and communications. In fact, we've got students coming from all sorts of backgrounds, students who come from, sociology, anthropology, media, or students who come from backgrounds are very different. I've got a student who has done psychology, so yeah, or any other areas. Student who has done more of a science-based, so secondary school. So it's not so in A levels. So not no requirements for us. So really happy to. We're starting from zero, literally. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That is all the questions for today. So thank you so much for presenting. I hope that was helpful. It was really interesting to hear about the course in depth. And that is the end of the session for today. So thank you for attending and thank you for presenting.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody.